Hi guys, this is Karen. Um, this is going to be the first video that I'm doing in a new series that I'm going to, playlist series I'm going to compile called Behind the Scenes. And basically it's just me working on projects. Um, this one here is a book cover for Local Hero Press. And I am going to do some inking today. As you can see, I've got the main characters done. The background is turned off on some separate layers. I still have a lot left to draw with details and stuff, but I needed a break from the drawing. And I decided I would try some inking on the main characters because I need to narrow down what style I'm going to ink this in. Basically how clean, how rendered. This is supposed to be, it's a story about kids superheroes, and so I'm going to do it in line art, and I don't know how detailed I'm going to go. I know I'm going to color it with like a clean comic book style, like cell shaded style. So, but I don't know how rendered or detailed I'm going to make the character's line art. So I thought that I would just play around today a little bit and try to figure this out. As you can see, I started trying to ink this character here. Her name is La Capitana. I'm working in Manga Studio 5, which is now called Clip Studio Paint. I just have the regular version, not the EX or the Pro. Let's see what else. I've used the Frenden brushes that I bought. You can Google him. I think he has a YouTube as well. If I remember, I'll put the link below to his Gumroad. I think I got it on his Gumroad. I'm not sure. You could just Google Frenden and you'll find it. And the brush I'm using is one of the old it says Manga Studio 4 nib. So even though I'm in Manga Studio 5, I guess I'm using the Manga Studio 4 brush. I wonder if that was imported when he made the set. Anyway, well, it's not a brush. It's an inker. It's like a quill pen type. Yeah, I have played around with a lot of the brushes. This is the brush I'm currently comfortable with. I don't know, like I said, I'm just playing around, so I don't know if any of this will stick. But I thought that I would just take you through some of this. I'm probably only going to do this one character, and I might not keep any of this. This might go away. So I'm just trying to warm up my hand right now and see how the brush is behaving. I have the stabilization set to 0, and the anti-aliasing is on the weakest, not 0, but the weak link. One thing I do a lot is, I should say I'm working on a Cintiq, the 13 HD, not the touch though. And the Cintiq is a pretty new tool for me, so I'm still trying to get used to it. I have to say it has been improving. At first I didn't really notice much difference from my Wacom regular tablet. I was using an Intuos 2, which is like ridiculously old, but it still held up after all these years, so I didn't see the need to change it. But now I am loving the Cintiq. I am much more precise, and I feel like my lines, it's easier to be, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That was too thick of a line, I think. I'm going to zoom into 100% here and just try this. It's easier to use the Cintiq now that I'm getting used to it, because it's like I haven't drawn on paper in so long with my professional work, because I've been digital since like 2000 and I don't even know. And it's really nice to be able to go back to the feel of paper. and still have the undo button. What am I trying to say here? I've got this Cintiq actually down flat on my desk. I do rotate it around. I use the stand that came with it. I don't mind that at all. Some people hate it, but I think it's just fine. But right now I've got it, I do like having it just flat on my desk. It's like working on a pad of paper. So that is nice. And I'm not used to inking and talking, so I don't know how this video is going to turn out. And if I will apologize if I stop talking just like that, because I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing and I'm thinking about the strokes I've made. Did I make her butt look funny? I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to dim this layer opacity a little bit. It doesn't need to be that dark. So now I've got her set on her own group, her own folder, all of her drawing and all my earlier sketches and things. So I've just dimmed the whole folder down. All right, now I'm going to go back to my inking. So, like I said, I don't know how much of this I'm going to keep. Because I may or may not like it. It really helps. I tend to forget to rotate my canvas. That I'm getting a lot better. When you're inking, you really, really should rotate your canvas around, or your paper, because it's easier to pull your lines. You need to find out which way is easier for you to pull your lines. That's all glitchy because it's not keeping up with the, it's kind of slow right now. Anyway, so usually, like if I'm having on digital, that's the one thing. I tend to think that my tablet is stationary, because it was for so long. I worked in Photoshop and it didn't have the rotate capability for a long time. It does now, but so I got used to just drawing without rotating my tablet, and so I still have that habit here with my Wacom, my Cintiq, well, my Wacom Cintiq. So I'm trying to really remember to rotate it around so that I can make comfortable lines and not contort my wrist or my arm. And you know, one of the things I did notice about now, if I want to make that a straight line, or if I want to make this, I don't like that. I am using, for so long I had to just draw from my wrist on the old tablet, and even though this is a small tablet, I can make big sweeping lines with it again now, which has also improved my inking. That's one other benefit of having the tablet, is that I have the room and the responsiveness of the device to make sweeping lines again. How did it happen there? Oops. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry. I got all confused. All right, I'm trying to fix this line. Let's go back out. So that's looking nice, and I have this, I fight against it, but I have a very clean style, and I fight against that. I love messy brushes and loose work. I really do, but it seems like my natural inclination is to go tight. So I'm trying to live with that too. I'm trying to embrace it. Embrace your natural self. Yeah, so So if I just ink without thinking, which I'm doing right now, just to get the feel of it, this is the kind of lines that I pull. This is the kind of stuff without like trying to make a style or anything that I end up doing. So I'm just trying to decide, should she have a little fray here? Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to play around with it and see what I come up with. See, right now, to get that smooth line, I was moving my whole arm. I guess, yeah, I was. And so, which might seem, I don't know. I think that's, again, I'm pulling with my whole arm instead of just my wrist, which I couldn't have done, or I didn't do with my old Intuos 2. Does she need a line on her butt, or no? Let's center this up and back out and see. And turn off her. I don't know. Maybe we'll leave that till later. It's hard to tell right now. Now that was too thick. Yeah, so I'm really loving this new tablet, or the new Wacom Cintiq, like I said. It's just that, you know, way back when in art school, we were taught to draw with from our shoulder. And I just haven't been able to do that in so long. And I'm just naturally, for some reason, I don't remember if it was the room or the lack of control or what it was on my old tablet that I couldn't do that. And I just naturally do it with this. Maybe it's because it feels so natural and I'm getting used to it. I haven't decided where my light is, so I'm not really paying too much attention to. I guess I should decide where I'm going to decide. All right, so if I'm inking, I need to be conscious with my line weights of where the light and shadow is, because anything that is towards the light will be a thinner line weight, and anything that's in shadow technically should be a thicker. And I'm not going for super dramatic, but you can see on the leg I just did this, I don't know, to me this seems way too heavy, and it instinctively I feel like the bottom underside of her leg, they're outdoors, it's sunny outside in this picture, so the sun is going to be coming up from the sky, so this should be a lot thinner and this should be thicker. So I need to erase those and try that again. The other thing that I'm noticing that is so great about this Cintiq, my new Cintiq, can I say that more? My new Cintiq, I'm so excited, is that everything in my previous work had a really heavy line. And I don't know, sometimes that can seem, if it's a style choice, that's fine, but sometimes that can seem like, I don't want to, well, I'm going to say the word in my head, amateur hour. Yeah, amateur hour, unless it's a deliberate style choice and you can tell it's a deliberate style choice. But a lot of times, myself included, either because the tools weren't good or because I didn't know what I was doing, I tended to make everything too thick. And even though I had pressure sensitivity and control on my tablet before, just making, oh, look at this, I'm shaving this down. I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is behind the scenes, me just thinking out loud. I'm sorry that I don't sound like a brilliant art teacher, because I'm not. Just, I guess that's a tip I've been trying to to do is you don't need to have a big heavy line. Don't be so heavy-handed. Lighten up. Make your line smaller, thinner. Things will print better than you think, and you can always go back and thicken the lines up if you need to. Now that looked terrible. Let's undo that. If you're trying to take tips from me anyway. I don't know. So see, I put the heavy cast shadow here because I believe this would be undersides. The underside, the sun is coming from here, from the sky, so it would be lighter there. So that's what I'm going for. Yeah. Again, I might not, we'll see if I keep any of this. Like I said, it's just practice before lunch. But I plan to stream my record my progress on this behind the scenes, keep recording, and I hope that you guys have fun watching it. That was too thin and wiggly. I love the undo button. I've got it set to a hotkey right on my Cintiq. That's cool. You can set up keys and shortcuts all over the place on your Cintiq as well. Let's see, if the sun is coming from here, this would be light, and it would get thicker as it goes away. I could probably have made that a little bit lighter, but it would definitely be thicker under here, but I don't know how. Does it really need to be that thick? I don't know. And I could leave this area right here. Right here, I could have left that unshaded and then just use color to shade it. But I like to have a little bit of spot black. This is pen and ink after all, or digital pen and ink. So let's celebrate the ink. Yeah, dark. Sometimes I undo, and sometimes I just kind of go back in and sculpt the line. Which I was doing there. And a lot of times I don't erase. I just, there's a couple places on your Clip Studio windows in your tool palette, and over for me where I've got the color wheel set up on my desktop. You can't see that. And instead of erasing, a lot of times I'll just switch between black and clear ink. It's faster than switching tools, and I got used to that with my old tablet. A lot of people switch from black to white, but I like to have my line art clear, transparent. Just with the black, no brightness or opacity in the whites, just black lines. But what was I saying with this? Yeah, my new pen, my new stylus pen has the eraser. If I just turn it upside down like I was using a pencil, I could just erase like I did there, which you can't see, but that's what I did. So depending on how thick the line is, I'll either just, or how I'm feeling, I'll either just reach for the clear button, or I will go ahead and just erase. So I don't know, I mean, it seems, that's one thing I didn't realize, like, when coming from Photoshop to Manga Studio, because I did all my work in Photoshop for years, and I still do, I still have it, but oh, that looks like she's got a strange growth coming out of her wrist there instead of a fold. You could switch with the X button between black and white, but you couldn't do clear, I don't think. And so when I found that clear ink, on Manga Studio, I started using it like crazy instead of erase. And now, what do you think? Do I think I need to fill that in black or color that? Let's quickly fill it and see what, yeah, I think that looks good. I should probably go darken up this line while I'm looking at it. This is underside here. Since I'm starting to add more blacks, I have to make my shadow layer a little, or my shadow lines a little heavier now. This, though, is going to be, I think it's a white shirt, or is it a green shirt? Oh, I'll have to look at the notes. I might leave that, this right here, I'll leave. I won't fill that with black yet. I'll leave that until I look at the coloring. I might change it later. Yeah, I don't even know what I was saying now. Let's see. I don't know how this video is going to turn out, you guys. This is all new. Let's see, undo. I don't like that. Now, if I have also been, this is a rasterized inking layer, but I have been playing around with the using vector inking and vector layers in this program, which is also really great. Now, if I had this on a vector, I could just hit the erase button and click right here, and that whole thing would go. But since I don't, I'm using a raster layer in Manga Studio. I need to erase it by hand. So, like that, like that. All right, let's see. I'm trying to make sense of my scribbles here. Now, I am going to start on the face, and the face is always the most important, so I'm going to set up a new layer because I'll probably do a lot of erasing and I don't want to mess up the inking I've just done down there. So, sometimes I start with the face, but it's good to get warmed up with your inks before you go to the face sometimes so that you don't make such a mess. Or if you, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not making any mess. This is digital, but may mess up as much and have to start over. This hair, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do her hair. So this, it's going to be black. So there's going to be a lot of inking on it. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. So I might not be warmed up enough to tackle hair right now. I'm going to flip the image and take a look at her face. And so this is her ear here. Her ear is showing. Oops. I was in the wrong angle for that, so I'm going to tilt the canvas so I can get a better curve with my hand. Nope. Sorry I've gone silent, you guys. Concentration. Concentrating. see how that turned out. Flip it. It's a little crooked. Not quite sure how that might be a little crooked. Let's use our lasso tool and move it over. What do you think? Is that better? I can always adjust it again later. I can always move it back. And I'm a very crooked drawer. I draw very, that's another thing that's improved with the tablet. This, since I got the Cintiq, is that I am not drawing as much on a slant anymore. But I still do, so I'm still trying to fix that whenever I see it. I'm mindful of that. That's a thing I do a lot. All right, so I'm like nervous to get to the eyes and the face, even though I don't know why. It's always the trickiest part, especially with girls. You know, you want to make the girls look good, because I don't know, boys are easier in the sense that they can be a little more rough around the edges. But even tom girls, you gotta treat with respect. You gotta treat the ladies with respect. So I zoomed way in. That would make me feel more comfortable. I don't know. Looks okay. She's looking down. Let's see, I could just copy and paste that eye and put it over on the other side. Digital tricks, laziness. Let's do that. Let's do that and see what happens. So use our lasso tool. Select it. Draw a circle around it. Go up to your edit menu. Edit. Copy. Edit. Paste. Select it. Transform it by turning it horizontally. Slide it over with your arrow key. Make it go a little faster. Now we'll have to rotate it. Move it up. I don't know. What do you think? I think that looks pretty good. Flip it. Ah, she's still looking crooked. Everything looks crooked to me right now. Her nose and her mouth are lined up. Maybe this needs to be transformed a little bit more on this line here. Crookedness. Well, that's the beauty of digital. I can go back and fudge this later. I can tweak things, and I'm gonna slide that layer down on itself, so it's my inking layers of her face is back by itself again. And this zooming in really close on the face, this is like a holdover from my days of the old tablet where I didn't have very good control and I didn't trust my inking. I expect that I will do this less and less the more confident I get with this new Cintiq, pulling lines in it. And yeah, I'm probably going to copy and paste this one too. I think that's, I want thicker eyebrows on her. Oh, that looks good. Yeah, I'm going to copy and paste this. So I grab my lasso tool again. Edit, copy. I could be using the shortcuts, but I'm not. Edit, paste. I want it to go horizontal. And I will move it and turn it. Might make it a little bit smaller. I don't know. I'm going to leave it for now. Leave it for now. That looks pretty good. Let's turn off her sketch layer. Wow, her nose is really, see, her nose is really crooked, isn't it? Is her nose really crooked? I think it's really crooked. All right, first let's drop her eyebrow down onto the head face layer. All right. Yeah, I think her nose is crooked. Crookedness. Crooked. Make sure everything lines up. Ugh. I'm too picky. All right, where's her sketch layer? Let's see how much I changed that, if at all. Oh, slightly. Is this lining up? It's lining up. All right, we're going to leave that for now and keep going just for a few more minutes. I'm going to have to go get lunch soon for my son. Ooh. Maybe I should make another, I'm not feeling it today, so I'll make yet another layer for her hair so I don't mess up the face if I... Now, she has a part here, and the sun is coming from the top. Left, top, wait, which way is this supposed to be? Well, I guess from her hair, I have a highlight here, a highlight here, a highlight here. So, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I like this, and this highlight makes sense. This doesn't necessarily make sense here. So I should maybe have the highlight here, 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 here. The hair is going away from the light. You know, I wouldn't draw these arrows normally, but I'm just trying to show you my thought process. Highlight, shadow, highlight. Right? Okay. Let's delete that. That's kind of what I'm going to try to do when I do this, I guess. This nib brush might not be the right thing that I'm using for her hair. I might, instead of a nib, I might maybe want to try an actual brush. Let's see, this is, you need a much lighter touch with it, and it gets thicker. That's regular brush. Delete. Sometimes I don't change tools, and sometimes I do. Analog. I like that, but I like that gritty brush, but it's not going to work for this. Delete. Delete. Anchor Organic. I don't remember what this one is. Is this a brush? Yeah, but it's got that funky splatter at the end, which I don't like. Erase that. Well, I'm going to go back to the nib. Maybe if I just do some outlining, I'll start feeling it. Let's see. Now, I said this would be in shadow, so, oh. Yeah, I'm really not feeling my, I don't know, I'm not feeling this. I might have to go have lunch before I can tackle her hair. I'll probably just do a few practice strokes and then I'll probably go have lunch. So yeah, so sorry this video is, it's really raw. Like I said, it's just a behind the scenes, just me thinking out loud, trying to get used to drawing with the camera on, trying to be coherent. I really like watching behind the scenes videos of other artists and hearing them talk while they're doing it, so I thought I would spread the love myself. And hopefully I'll get better at this as I go along, because right now I feel like I'm a hot mess. Not so much with the inking, but with my talking and inking. The inking is okay. The inking is fun. I love to ink, which is one of the reasons I was so keen on getting this Wacom. I've been, planning to get it for a long time. And I finally was able to get it. I don't know that I would need the bigger one. This is the smallest one you can get, and it's not the Touch, not the newest generation, but the older one, the high def one. And honestly, I don't know that I would need all that extra real estate on the huge Cintiq. I mean, if you could zoom in and see more at once, but when everything you do is for print, or everything, so you don't really need to see it so big, because then you're going to put in more detail than you need that won't show up when it's printed. I don't know. And it fits nice on my desk, so it's not much bigger than the Intuos 2 I had before. Having a hard time here. Yeah, I might just have to outline the strands and go back with a brush later when I'm after lunch. I want to think about the hair as having, her hair in my mind is straight and glossy, so there won't be that many strands that are separated, like if she had curly hair. Ugh. I was going too fast for the computer. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm going to go back to the layer I had her body on and just do a couple more lines, and then I'll take a break for lunch. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And like I said, I hope it wasn't I hope you'll forgive my lameness. I will get better. Oh, that's awkward. Here's a trick. If it's awkward, cover it up with the cape. Then you don't have to worry about it. Can't draw feet? No problem. Stick your characters in tall grass. Can't draw an armpit? No problem. Cover it up with the cape. Let's see, I'm going to use my arm for this. See if I can get a nice pull with my arm. Yep. I worked for my shoulder. I didn't work for my wrist on that pull. I used my shoulder. So If you're going to do long, smooth lines, work from your shoulder if you can. It takes practice. I'm still practicing it. This would probably end up being a little bit heavier because it's in shadow underneath the cape. See? This too will be heavier. And I'll probably, yeah, I should draw through this because her hair, okay, so I've got her hair on another layer, so this is a good thing to do too. And if you guys know all this, I'm sorry, but for those who stumble on my video and don't know, okay, so it's, don't try to like, you know, just draw straight through. And the hair is going to be covering up here. And then you can just, since it's on a separate layer, I can just erase the parts that is going to be blocked by the hair. Like so here. I could just erase that right there. And that saves you time. So when you're inking, you're not on paper. You have the luxury of layers. So if you're going to have things overlapping, just draw, like make layers, draw through, and then you can always go and erase, you know, and then merge them together afterwards. So don't be afraid to use your layers. That's the beauty of digital. Nobody cares about, I mean, it's only a source of pride to sit there and say, yeah, I did it all in one layer. If the end result looks like crap, then it doesn't really matter. But if the end result, nobody, I guess what I'm trying to say is the viewer's not going to know how many layers you used. So you don't have to be prideful about that. If you're working digitally, take advantage of digital. Use your layers. Enjoy. Okay. I think that's it for now. It was a weird ramble. I am going to go off and eat lunch. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. See how it looks pulled out. I think this, to me, in my eye, like, I think this is almost the size that the book would actually be. If I was looking at the page on my tablet, you guys won't be able to tell, but so zoomed out that far is how it will print probably. So I'm happy with that, and yeah, I'll show you guys more later as I work on more. This has been Karen with Behind the Scenes in the studio, and I hope you had a good time. Talk to you later. Bye.